Welcome to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Now here along with Dr. Bonati, your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell. Our friend, executive producer of AM Tampa Bay, Ethan Euchre, is here.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Our TV and radio senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff, joins us.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
And across from me, we have world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. Thank you for being here, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
We start off every show by giving a little bit of background, so we'll start here. Dr. Bonati started and trained in open back surgery, and during his time, he saw that there was a high failure rate with traditional open back surgery, and he knew there had to be a better way. There was nothing else on the market at the time, so he developed his own procedures and tools and made a much-needed contribution to medicine, and he paved the way and changed spine surgery forever. Because he branched off into uncharted territory, over the years he's received a lot of flack. That happens when you break the mold and you're a true pioneer. Ever since, he has continued to lead the way in advanced laser spine surgery, and specifically with the Bonati spine procedures. He holds 7 patents for his exclusive methods and instrumentation. No one else can claim to do what he and the Bonati Spine Institute have been doing for decades or achieve the same successful results. The Bonati Spine Institute is all about results, and many imitators in the industry have tried to ride on his coattails and jump on that minimally invasive spine surgery bandwagon. Unfortunately, they've missed crucial steps. It's the training, knowledge, experience, tools, and technique it takes to replicate and perfectly execute his methods, so Bonati succeeds where others fail. And those statistics are supported by a recent 5-year survey which reflects an immediate 98.75% immediate success rate with the patient. So it's true patient resolve. So on today's show, we have Dr. Bland, who's going to be joining us, and he states that too many medical practitioners focus on disease rather than healthcare. So we're going to hear more on that and how we actually need to move past present disease care model in his new book. It's called The Disease Delusion and Conquering the Causes of Chronic Illnesses for a Healthier, Longer, and Happier Life. Then we'll hear what's new in American medicine today. But up first...
In today's Back to Life segment, we will talk to a patient of the Bonati Spine Institute who went from living a life that was restricted by pain and discomfort through their journey of finding the Bonati Spine Institute and are now living pain-free.
We have Jim Pilgrim on the line, and he's calling in from Juneau, Alaska, and he's going to be here talking about his experience. So thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Why don't you kind of give us your background? What was the pain you were feeling, and did you seek out other treatment?
Basically, I did a lot of heavy lifting. I'm also ex-military, and my left leg went to sleep. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'd stand up and it just wouldn't be there. And I spent like 3 months going 4 times a week to a chiropractor and did steroid shots, the whole bit. None of it worked.
Hey, Jim, what was the cause of it? I mean, did it just start happening over time? What was your career? You said you were in the military. Then what were you doing as an occupation?
In the military, I did special weapons and tactics.
So you're not a man to be trifled with. That's what we're getting at.
And so I'm sure I
Exactly.
pounded my body some then, but then I was also a meat cutter, and we throw around, 75 pounds of meat every 30 minutes. So,
Jim, did any one thing happen to really aggravate it, or was it one of those things that just came on over time?
Actually, I slipped on the ice,
Ouch.
and it was just a jarring motion that pretty much, I want to say, pinched that nerve.
Mm-hmm. And so it was in your lower back and legs?
Yeah, bulged disc and some arthritis, of course, because I'm not that young anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so how long did you live with this pain? And as Kimberly asked, what sort of treatments did you...
I tolerated it for years, but then it got to a point where I could, had a hard time walking sometimes.
And so did you go visit a chiropractor? What sort of options did you explore?
Yes, I went and seen bone and joint doctors for steroid shots and chiropractor for, four times a week
Jimmy,
for at least 3 months, and nothing was relieving the pain.
Jim, it's unreal. We talk to so many patients who've experienced the kind of pain that you have, but they live with it at times for months or even years. So what led you to find the Bonati Institute?
My wife is an MD and a PhD in biochemistry, and we talked about it. My chiropractor happens to be a good family friend as well, and I talked with him, and I said, traction and adjustments just aren't working. I need something better. So my wife and I searched out the options, and I found Bonati online, and literally went through everything you had on your webpage and decided, even though it's clear across the country, that's where I'm going.
Let me ask you something, Jim. The pain that you felt, you said it felt like your leg was numb and it wasn't completely under you, but how was it affecting your life? What were the things that pain was limiting?
I've always been very, very active. So when you can't go out and mow the yard, then that's not a very good quality of life.
Not
Correct.
Plus, I love to fish, and going out fishing would hurt my back.
What about work? Did it affect your work? You mentioned how you were lifting
I
at
actually
times.
had to stop work.
Wow.
Yeah. Lifting 75 pounds at a time, I'm sure, had to be adding pressure to that area.
So Jim,
Correct.
You found the Bonati Spine Institute. You went through everything on the website. What was the first contact like, and what made you decide, hey, I'm going to fly 3-4 time zones away to go get this pain relieved?
I called, and I can't remember who I talked to, but they basically told me what I needed to send to them to see if they could help me. And I had that all sent, and once it was pretty seamless. Once they said yes, I made the reservations, and not only for plane tickets, but hotel, and also scheduling to go to the Institute.
And so upon
It
arrival,
happened fairly quickly.
Upon arrival here in Florida, kind of walk us through your first experience walking into the Institute. How were you welcomed? How were you made to feel? Did they alleviate any of your anxieties going into this?
Of course I was nervous. Anyone that is going to have back surgery will be nervous. But I was amazed that everything was in one place. I didn't have to go to this doctor's office or, another clinic. Everything is right there.
Pretty impressive
I was
facility.
pleased with that.
Oops, sorry, Jim.
Yeah, it is. As Jeff mentioned, it's a very impressive facility. And so I'm assuming they looked at your MRIs and things like that. What was your prognosis? What did they tell you they were going to do? And
basically, they were going to remove a disc, open up, I believe they're called facets, to a nerve that was going to my leg. I was actually tentatively scheduled for 4 surgeries.
Okay.
And what did they tell you the prognosis was for being pain-free? How long would you be back at it, back mowing your lawn, back chucking meat around the store?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Okay. And what had they told you back home in Alaska? That there was pretty much nothing they could do for you, right?
I wasn't getting anywhere here in Alaska or Seattle, for that matter.
Jim, one of the things that I'm still amazed by, we've talked to so many people who have had the Bonati procedure, is the concept of conscious IV sedation. That when they actually perform the procedure, you are awake, alert, and aware to help the surgeons identify, locate, and eliminate your pain. Tell us about that procedure. What was it like for you to actually go on the table, be awake, and have them find that area of pain?
I was kind of amazed. I can say it's not pain-free, but it's tolerable, and you understand why the surgeon is talking to you.
It's pressure on the nerves.
He has to find, just where your pain is.
Correct.
Right. So you can feel, where they're at, where they're sort of, pushing around, asking you, because they need to pinpoint the location of where that is. Now, were you watching the procedure on the screen?
I was.
And what was that like? That alone fascinates me, because you're lying there on the table watching someone perform surgery on
I've had several knee surgeries, and I got to watch those as well. So, and being an EMT, to me, the medical side of it's very fascinating to me.
Very interesting. So they were able to pinpoint where the problem was and take care of the problem. Obviously, you said you had 4 different procedures done?
No, my surgeon, Dr. Grossmith, kind of challenged me.
Okay.
Because, I was, in my mind, I was set to receive 4 surgeries.
Okay. Hey, Jim, I'm gonna pause you right there, because we're actually up against a break. On the backside, we'll discuss where you're at now and how you're living, if you still have pain or if you're pain-free. And I'm assuming, since we're talking to you, you're pain-free.
Okay.
So just hang on. All right. Kimberly?
You are listening to American Medicine Today. If you or someone you know is suffering with back, neck, or leg pain, feel free to reach out to the Bonati Spine Institute at 855-267-0482 or check out Bonati.com. After the break, we'll hear more from patient Jim Pilgrim on the Bonati Spine procedures. You're listening to News Radio 970, WFLA. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail. The Bonati Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at Bonati.com.
All my pain is gone. Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible.
It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful.
I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for continuing to listen to American Medicine Today, brought to you by the Bonati Spine Institute. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Ethan Euchre, Jeff Wagstaff, and world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati. Previous to the break, we have patient Jim Pilgrim on the line. He's calling in from Juneau, Alaska, and he was telling us about the pain that he had been in with pain down his leg and numbness, and no one else was able to give him really any options except the Bonati Spine Institute. So he was talking about the procedure and being interactive with the surgeon. And Jim, I wanted to ask you, any discomfort that you felt during the surgery, did you understand why that was? Because they were actually pressing on the nerves so they could exactly pinpoint the true root of your problem?
Yes.
And did you?
I mean, they explained to me that, tell us if it's your leg or tell us if it's your back. And so I understood what they were doing. Mm-hmm. And when they woke up my leg, I knew it immediately.
Mm-hmm. So it felt like it woke up?
Well, he was saying, right, Jim? You were saying that it felt like
it was asleep
for a long time, that it felt like your leg was asleep
right.
all the time.
Well,
due to
it
the
was
damage.
like my whole leg, all the nerves fired at once.
Wow.
Got it.
And once it was free, I had no pain.
Mm-hmm. How quickly did you feel a relief of pain?
Like I said, as soon as it felt like all the nerves in my left leg fired at once. Mm-hmm. And after that, I had no pain.
And how exciting was that? I mean, you must have been laying there on the table thinking, this is awesome.
Right? And until you go through it, it's hard to explain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
Well, Jim...
And I remember Dr. Grossmith, when he was about finished, asking me if I had any other concerns. And one of my other concerns was when I used to lean backwards, my back would pinch so hard it about dropped me to my knees. So they literally put me on my knees on the operating table and said, lean backwards.
And?
If I didn't do enough, I'll do more.
And
I had no pain.
That's incredible.
Were you a bit apprehensive? I know some of the patients talk about when they know they're asked to recreate the pain, there's always that fear. Were you a little apprehensive and then...
Sure.
Happy?
I said, well, I know my leg's good. I mean, it's a weird feeling. But he asked me what my any other concerns were, and I told him leaning backwards is what really hurts. Mm-hmm. So they had me lean backwards right there on the operating table before Dr. Grossmith would say he was finished.
And it didn't hurt, and you told him it doesn't hurt, this is great?
I felt fine.
Jim, take us from when Dr. Grossmith finished the procedure, where you get off the table, were you able to walk into the recovery room?
I did walk to the recovery room.
Tell us how that was for you, because it sounds like as you got on the table, you were in tremendous pain. Once they were finished,
and walking off, you're a little groggy from the anesthesia, but not too bad. And you rest in the recovery room, and I think I was in there maybe an hour, got dressed, and back to my hotel.
So how long before you flew back home to Alaska and got back to your normal routine?
Well, I actually had scheduled 2 weeks because initially they said maybe 4 surgeries.
Right.
And so you didn't need all 4 surgeries?
I remember being in the operating room for my first one and telling Dr. Grossmith, I said, well, I guess I'll see you Wednesday again, too. And he just said, not if I get it first.
So
I had one surgery.
Wow.
He got it all in one.
That's unbelievable. So let's recap that for a quick second, because it's kind of mind-blowing in the sense that the guy's from Alaska, has all this pain, nobody up there can help him, and then he finds someone who can help half a country or a full country away, and even they did better than they initially thought they were going to do. They scheduled the 4 procedures and only needed 1. To me, that's fantastic. You must have been amazed.
I can't be any happier.
Well, Jim, you were down here for 2 weeks. Did you get to enjoy the beaches or the theme parks, or did you enjoy the nice weather?
I went to Clearwater and looked around, and actually, it was too hot. I'm not used to that hot weather.
Right. Would you feel comfortable if you knew somebody else suffering in pain to tell them about the Bonati Spine Institute?
I brought my son there last year, and Dr. Bonati fixed him.
Oh, wow. What was wrong with your son?
He fell 65 feet and crushed 3 vertebrae.
Oh, man. How old is he?
33.
And how did he fall?
He fell out of a tree.
Oh, wow.
He was doing man business up there in Alaska.
Yeah, well, he's actually from Spokane, Washington.
And so was Dr. Bonati able to alleviate his pain after falling out of a tree 65 feet?
When it first happened, I immediately called the Bonati Institute and was told they couldn't do anything till the vertebrae healed. So it was like a year and 2 months, and I had my son call again, and they said we could do something. He could hardly walk. He had hip pain, leg pain, back pain,
but by the end, he was resolved?
I brought him down there.
And how is he today?
He's, as he quotes when I ask him how his back is holding up, he says, like Dr. Bonati said, I'm 100%.
Nice.
That's awesome.
All right, Jim. Well, again, another fantastic story, not only for you, but for your son. And we really appreciate you joining us this afternoon on American Medicine Today, and continued pain-free living for both of you.
Well, I appreciate your expertise.
Absolutely. Have a great day, Jim.
Take care.
That's great. And the fact that, see, I do some pretty risky, reckless things too. So it's good to know that, the 33-year-old son fell out of a tree. I might fall off of my balcony sometime, during Guavaween, break my neck.
We try to coordinate those things.
I got Dr. Bonati in my back pocket.
Don't come to us.
All right, we're up against a break.
Oh, you are listening to American Medicine Today. If you or someone you know is suffering in pain, reach out to the Bonati Spine Institute, 855-267-0482. Coming up after the break, we are going to be speaking to Dr. Jeffrey Bland. We'll have more. You're listening to News Radio 970, WFLA. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail. The Bonati Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at bonati.com.
All my pain is gone. Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful.
I feel fantastic. It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Dr. Alfred Bonati, Ethan Euchre, and Jeff Wagstaff. Right now, we have Dr. Jeffrey Bland on the phone, and he is mentor to Dr. Oz, and he's also known as the father and face of functional medicine and author of The Disease Delusion. I can't wait to hear more about your book. Dr. Bland?
Well, thank you very much. I really am pleasure to be with you this morning. And, the book, The Disease Delusion, the title probably sounds a little bit strange, like we know we have diseases. Why is it a delusion? Mm-hmm. And certainly we do have diseases. The delusion, however, is that the concept of these chronic diseases, which include things like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, various forms of autoimmune disease or arthritis or dementia, are all a consequence of our genes that come from our father and mother, and we didn't fill out an application card. We just kind of got what we got, and we have to understand that it's inevitable. And the Human Genome Project really has taught us that that's not correct, that very little of these diseases are actually hardwired to our genes. In fact, the data would say no more than 20 to 25% of the hardwiring of genes connects directly to these conditions. Well, that means 75 to 80% is related to the messages we send the genes, which is our lifestyle, it's our diet, it's our activity patterns, it's the environment. These things are modifiable. That's the good news of our age. That's the revolutionary discovery, that we have a lot more control over how healthy we will be as we grow older than we ever thought. And in fact, this control can exist at every moment of our life, whether we're 50, 60, or 80. We still have this opportunity to send the right message to our genes, to turn on the health genes, and to turn off our disease genes. And that's what I've tried to discuss in the book.
Dr. Bland, aside from living in, a bubble where we don't come in contact with anything and we don't have any fun in our lives, period, I mean, how do you go about your daily life without causing harm and body, to your body and your cells?
Well, I think that's a really important question, because for many people they feel that they've got to lead almost a monk-like or like a life of some kind of a in the Himalayas retreat in order to achieve these kind of high-level health messages, and that's just not true. The data that's come out over the last 20 years on what kinds of things really send the signals of health to our genes is very, very encouraging. And I try to talk about that in the book by using a series of questionnaires. In fact, there are 8 different questionnaires in the book that allow the reader to assess their own specific needs and things that have come out of their background and genetic history to optimize their function. And these things are fairly simple. For instance, like walking on level ground 20 minutes a day. Extraordinary data has come out saying that this provides 50 to 60% of the benefit of exercise by just daily walking at a brisk pace. Secondly, nutrition.
Wait, hang on, Dr. Bland. Now, does that have to be consecutively 20 minutes or just cumulatively throughout the day?
Well, I think it's best if it's done after meals, quite honestly. That's where the data seems to be the strongest for when we should take these walks. So, if you did, say, 2 10-minute walks after meals, that would be an extraordinary contribution to all sorts of good things that turn on the health genes and turn off the disease genes. So again, we're not talking about training for marathons. We're not talking about super athletes. There are certain values in that as well, so I don't want to dismiss it. But for the average individual, you get a tremendous benefit even at this simple thing of taking a 10-minute walk after every meal.
Yeah, but I mean, I look at lions on the savannah and they eat a whole buffalo and then they just lay around in the sun all damn day.
That was going to be my question. If you eat
really?
and go directly to sleep, is that worse
bad?
for your health?
Well, again, I think that the data that we have gotten is that when you eat, you bring into your body a variety of calories, obviously of nutrients, and about 25 to 30% of your body's energy is going to be then used in order to metabolize that food and to digest it and assimilate those nutrients. If you take a walk after eating, and I'm talking not a walk of running, I'm talking about just a brisk walk, that what you do is you stabilize a lot of these hormones that help regulate the absorption of those nutrients. Things like glucose, like the hormone glucagon, like cortisol. These are hormones that your body secretes that help to regulate the proper absorption of nutrients, and rather than deposit them in fat for a rainy day that never comes, they utilize them in sources of energy that helps not only your muscles work, but your brain work, your immune system work. So the regular exercise after meals can really help to tune up the way your body's going to use those nutrients when you're eating.
So in other words, instead of people thinking they have to make a special trip to the gym to do these things and be in health, all they really have to do is get up on their feet and start walking.
I like this guy.
Well, I think that's certainly the very big first step. I'm not against going to the gym, and I certainly am, I'm a believer in exercise for the level of a person's enjoyment. But, a lot of people were just put off going to the gym, and they'll say, well, if I can't go to the gym, I'm not going to do anything. And what we find, and we describe in the book, there are many, many simple tips related to the foods we eat, the activity patterns, our stress management, our environmental exposures, how we use drugs. All of these things are simple tips that can help a person to personalize their particular approach so that their health program becomes their own, not somebody else. It's not medicine for the average. It's medicine for the individual. That's the future of the 21st century.
And it says here, Dr. Bland, on our prep sheet, that what we call disease is a result of an imbalance in one or more of the 7 core physiological processes. What are some of those?
Yes, thank you. That's what we have learned after, about 30 years of work in this field, publishing many hundreds of papers and writing a medical textbook and all sorts of things, is that if you take the literally tens of thousands of extraordinary research projects that have been published in the medical world over the last 20 or 30 years and distill them down and ask the question, what are the real things we've learned about the cause of these chronic diseases? And they really distill down into what we call the 7 core physiological processes. Imbalances in those processes are the reasons that people get these illnesses. So what are those processes? Well, they include things like digestion and elimination, our digestive system. And the way we describe in the book this revolutionary new concept is that we now recognize that the digestive system is more than just a conduit that breaks down food so we can absorb nutrients. It is also the seat of our body's immune system. More than 50% of our immune system is clustered or localized around our digestive system. So when you eat foreign foods or things that can produce an alarm reaction, such as allergic foods or toxic ingredients in foods, it sensitizes your immune system to be on guard, to be ready to do battle. That's called the process of inflammation. It produces a state of chronic inflammation that is related to how your digestive immune system is responding to your food. And what I try to take people through is an understanding of whether they're a candidate based on the way their foods are responding in their body to this problem of chronic inflammation, which is a cause of many, many of the chronic illnesses. And once you understand that, then we can design the diet and a nutrient program for that individual so that they will avoid that problem. And I can't tell you the numbers of thousands of patients over the years that we've seen that by just implementing this concept that's described in the book as one of the core physiological processes, they've been able to eliminate not just intestinal problems, but joint inflammation, muscle pain, headaches, all sorts of different chronic conditions that really stem from this imbalance of this core physiological process centered in the intestinal system. So that's one of the 7 examples, and I go through the other 6 in the book, and with the questionnaires, a patient or a reader is able to identify whether they're a candidate for that particular area is important.
Oh, Dr. Bland, I have a question, though. What are some of the top questions, the essential questions that you need to ask your doctor to see if they're focused more on health care rather than disease care?
Well, I think, Kim, that's a really important question. I think it starts with one central question. It's a question that I try to get the readers to really understand the importance of, and that is when you go to your healthcare provider, your doctor, and you want to get a health program designed. And I need to emphasize the difference between a disease program and a health program. Mm-hmm. If you're diseased and have an acute disease or a trauma or an injury, I want it to happen in this country because the medical science, the medical doctors, and the technology we have in this country is second to none. It's absolutely amazing,
Amen.
The breakthroughs that we've made in the last 30 years in managing acute illness and acute disease. The question really is, where is the health care, not the disease care? Where is that localized? And we've been much less capable of developing a similarly sophisticated and capable healthcare system as we have been able to manage disease in a disease care system. It's interesting because over 75% of healthcare expenditures now are spent on chronic illness. Only 25% approximately are spent on these acute illnesses, and we really don't have much of a system to deliver effective outcome for chronic illness. So what question do you need to ask your doctor if you're really concerned about a health plan, not just a disease care plan? And that question is, does that doctor have interest in how you eat, how you live, how you your activities, your environment, your family history, your personal health history? Mm-hmm. If they don't ask those questions or they're disinterested in them, they don't really have the time for asking and discussing those questions, then you can assume that your physician is really going to be focused on your disease management, but not necessarily focused on a healthcare program. So that, to me, is the first question that one's asked. And of course, the doctors in the institute that we formed 25 years ago, the Institute for Functional Medicine, are doctors of which there are now over 100,000 of them in the United States, by the way, are healthcare providers who really know how to ask those questions and also know what to do with the answers that people give. So we're seeing emerge a new form of healthcare that's going to balance disease care. So we need both systems. We need a healthcare system and we need a disease care system.
It's all very, very interesting stuff. Dr. Jeffrey Bland can be found in the book, The Disease Delusion, Conquering the Causes of Chronic Illness for a Healthier, Longer, and Happier Life. Appreciate you joining us this afternoon on American Medicine Today, Dr. Bland.
I sure appreciate being with you, and the best of health to you and your listeners.
Thank you so much.
You too.
All right. Good stuff there. I enjoyed that.
I do, but I know he said something that made Dr. Bonati perk up, and we'll talk more about that coming up next on News Radio 970 WFLA. We're going to hear from Dr. Bonati about what's new in American medicine today. We'll catch you on the flip side of the break. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail. The Bonati Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at bonati.com.
All my pain is gone. Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful.
I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. Alfred Bonati, Ethan Euchre, and Jeff Wagstaff. It's that time in the show to find out what's new in American medicine today.
Let's look at what's new in medicine today, featuring Alfred Bonati, MD.
Now, Dr. Bonati, I know the last guest, Dr. Bland, he mentioned something that makes, I guess, the hair on the back of your neck stand up, and that's healthcare provider. Can you tell us why you find that statement problematic?
I think it's a disrespect for... There you go. I think it's a disrespect for physicians. You don't go to medical school or to initial training to a medical school and to specialty for being called a medical provider. Mm-hmm. That is very good for the insurance company trying to gather a group of people that they are going to be practically associated with healthcare. Mm-hmm. This is a socialistic type of a exposure of the profession. The doctor is a doctor, and you need to respect that, and you need to call a physician an MD or a doctor. Now, I probably will insult you a little bit when I say something like that, but you know something insults me very bad when somebody calls me a health provider. I'm going to immediately have an argument. And the country is sick. The sickness of the country is because we talk, we discuss, we cry, but we don't solve the problem. Mm-hmm. The problem is not in the healthcare. The problem is not on the physicians. It's not on the insurance system. The problem is in the politicians. The politicians use the healthcare as a weapon to create votes, to divide people, and the irresponsibility of these politicians are creating the disaster that we have today in the country. Because of that, we need to control the political individual. Mm-hmm. We need to create individuals that they go to the government with a clear intention to help the country, stay there for a few years, 4 years maximum, and go home and live with the laws that they created. If we don't have that, and you're going to listen to me to preach this every opportunity that I have, because it's not a solution unless you remove the cancer. And the cancer is the politician. The politician needs votes, so divide people and create a turmoil of any dumb issue that they can have on their agenda to divide people and create turmoil. But if you create a group of individuals responsible, that they go to the government, create an idea, bring new ideas, apply those new ideas, see how these ideas are going to work. And if those ideas are successful, the politician can be reelected. If it is not, then this individual go home. And if you do that as a routine, you will have fresh blood, you will have intelligent people, responsible people, new ideas, fresh concepts of changes. We are entrepreneurs. This country is not a mediocre country. This country is the best, the strongest, the most brilliant country in the world. We create these ideas. We create the new concepts. The people of the world imitate us. They live with what we create. So it's absurd to try to create a standardization of the American citizen because it's not there. The American citizen is exclusive, is unique, is a Superman of this world. So we need to treat that individual in that way. We cannot standardize the American. They talk about freedom. Yes, we never will lose the freedom because we are free. That's why we came to the country. The ones that we came, the ones that are born here, they know what it is. So when you talk about that situation, the political control is our responsibility. What we need to do is we need to really create a referendum. We need to be serious about this. We need to demand the individuals that are in the Congress today. They are individuals that they are not respected by the country. Nobody believes that the politician is a serious individual. They know they're corrupted. They know that opportunistic. They know they're very poorly educated, some of them. But they remain in control. We need to remove that control. Look at the VA. The VA is a disaster. But everybody knows that the VA is a disaster. Are you telling me now that the politicians start to look now that the VA, oh my God, what a disaster. They know, they created. They live on this disaster for years. We know how the poor veterans are being treated. I was trained, and when they sent me to the Veterans Administration to work for a rotation, I almost died the way that these people are being treated. So the concept of the VA, get very serious about. That's going to be the best Obama medicine for the future. That's what's going to happen. You're going to be you've been waiting for years before they see you. It's going to be death penalties. I mean, death panels that they are going to decide if you're going to survive, if your grandfather is going to survive or not, just only because of age or just because of illnesses that is terminal. They are going to decide how to get rid of them. And it's on the law. The Obamacare has that law inside. So you need to be very serious about these changes. And one of the changes, let's get rid of the politicians in a certain way. There are three things that we need to get rid. We need to get rid of the politicians. We need to get rid of the IRS, and we need to get rid of the Amendment 16. If we have these three things here, the country will change immediately direction.
And that's a look at what's new in medicine today with Alfred Bonatti, MD.
Dr. Bonatti for president.
I'd vote for him. Wow, good stuff. Well, I want to touch upon the VA topic at another time. Obviously, we're reaching the end of today's show, but especially here in Tampa, we've done 970 WFLA has done things with a couple local VAs, and on the surface, everything seems to be great, but I think there's an underlying problem that we really need to work on. So hopefully, we can touch on that another time, Dr. Bonatti. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, as we always say, if you or someone you know is suffering in pain, reach out to the Bonati Spine Institute at 855-267-0482 or visit Bonati.com. We are also going to replay this broadcast from 6 to 7 p.m. on News Radio 970 WFLA. Watch it stream live on here or tune in to WFTS ABC 28 from 7 to 7:30. We'll catch you next week on News Radio 970 WFLA. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
The Bonati Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at Bonati.com.
All my pain is gone. Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful. I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.